of like.
All right, so
which box do I need? You know,
give us one sec here.
It's the media virus spreading all around. We're a pack of morons stuck here on the ground. They feed us the lies while we just stand by, drowning in the noise as the truth walks by. It's the media virus taking control.
Did you loop it?
It's on loop. Sorry.
That just keeps going, huh?
No, it's not supposed to. We're idiots. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest tonight is a very funny man. And if you've ever stayed up way too late watching sketch comedy, you've definitely seen him. He's a founding member of the cult favorite, The Whitest Kids You Know, the show that brought us absurdist brilliance, uncomfortable truths, and some of the weirdest, funniest sketches ever to grace your TV screen, computer, or that one pirated YouTube link that you still send to your friends. He's an actor, writer, director, and all-around comedy machine. And tonight, he's here to talk to us. We're excited about that. He's going to talk about comedy, creativity. I mean, honestly, whatever he wants to talk about. Please give a warm Media Virus welcome. Media Virus. That's how dumb I am. Media Virus welcome to the one and only Sam Brown. Sam, dude, thank you so much for agreeing to come on, man. How you doing?
I'm doing. I mean, I was about to say doing good, but I have a broken elbow, so as you can see,
yeah,
and that's been a huge bummer in my life.
When did that happen to you? Is there an interesting story behind that, or something? You know?
There sort of. So one of the things I've been working on it's an interesting story that involves me plugging something I have coming out, which is
that's the way to do it, baby.
I started a podcast. It hasn't launched yet. We're still like we're like getting a batching episodes before we launch, so we don't have to scramble every week to get it going, to have it be able to be released every week. And the podcast is Sam Brown University TV. I guess an even longer plug is that I teach sketch courses online. If anyone's interested, you go to sambrownuniversity.com. You can find everything about my sketch course. So
that's how I found you. That's how I don't make a habit of emailing people. You know what I mean? The way we get guests is I belong to like a matchmaking site for podcast guests, and
really?
I deal with what I'm
like
given.
Tinder for podcasts.
Yeah, there are two of them. And the first one, that's exactly how it was pitched to me. We have a guy on staff here. We call him Staff Writer Bill, and we call him that because he just launches ideas at me, and I think they're funny, and we run with them sometimes. And he came up to me and said, "You got to join Podmatch." And I go, "Why do I got to join Podmatch?" He goes, "It's like Tinder for podcasts." And I was like, "Okay, sold." Now, back then, that was 2 years ago. Podmatch was $6 a month.
Whoa,
for shows.
Okay.
And $30 a month for guests.
Whoa.
Which meant you were getting some legit guests. We talked to some cool dudes, a lot of authors.
I mean, it's legit because they have to pay $30 to be there.
To be in the, like they're more,
I mean, it just sounds like you're weeding out the poor people.
Or at least weeding out somebody who doesn't care to throw $30 and sell them their next book.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not weeding out the poor people. I mean, it's like I understand what they're doing. But now I belong. We use a service called Matchmaker.fm, and
that actually does a background check to see how much you have in your bank account.
Yes, it does. They want to know
that $30.
Oh, but on there, guests can charge an appearance fee.
Ooh.
So I'd never heard of that. I thought podcasting was just.
Wait, you guys didn't know I'm charging an appearance fee? Oh, this is awkward. My appearance fee is quite high.
Dude, you can charge me whatever you want. It does not matter.
That sounds way too dirty. So anyways, I, when doing my class, and then like all of a sudden faced with this idea of like, hey, like I want to make a podcast. You always have to ask yourself, like, why am I going to throw my hat into this whole podcast ring? Like, am I going to make worthwhile content, or am I just doing this to do this? And so you got to think of like a little bit of an angle. Why would anyone want to listen to me? And I figured out that I was like, well, what if I made it like a TV show from the fake college that I run, which is called Sam Brown University, because I realized I can just, rip off all of like Brown University's merchandising and logos and stuff like that, and just throw Sam in front of it and call it a day. So it's Sam Brown University. And so then when I'm making my podcast and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put some work into this, and I need it to be like worthwhile a little bit. I've got a kid and a wife, and they're going to be upset if I'm spending all my time doing this podcast. It's just like, they're like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, it's just fun. So I call it Sam Brown University TV, and I'm advertising the classes just by making this podcast that people might want to listen to. And so when I was thinking, what is Sam Brown University TV? It was like, well, why don't I got a lot of friends in the entertainment industry. And everyone's like used to being on podcast, but it's great when you're on a podcast that's a little bit different and a little bit plays into your interests. So I thought, why not pair comedians, entertainers, actors that I know with academics and experts. And so like the first episode is Zach from Whitest Kids with a theologian, and it's really fun because Zach grew up like very Christian, and it's one of these things where the podcast, like, I'm the dumbest guy in the room most every episode, and it's a blast.
That's always where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I don't know if you notice, I play that part real good. I know some stuff, but I want to know what everybody else has to say, because I kind of being a student of it. Now, was that the first step? When is this podcast like launching? Tell me more about it. Like when can we get
It's soon, like a couple weeks. We were aiming for next week, but then arm happened, life happened, but like soon we're gonna start dropping this. But anyways, this is about the arm. One of the episodes I had do you know the comedian Whitmer Thomas?
The name is
HBO special. He's in Weapons coming up. He did a movie with some buddies of his that he's comedy partners with called Civil Dead. That was a pretty, had a big like kind of indie following. And Whitmer is, besides being a musician and a stand-up comedian, is a skateboarder. And we had Whitmer on, and we had a friend of his on named Kevin Long, nicknamed Spanky. He's, if you know Baker Skateboards, he's skates for Baker, pro skateboarder. And the topic of the episode was, when is it too late to get into skateboarding or get back into skateboarding? Then in parentheses, will I, Sam Brown, ever do a kickflip? And they were both very positive about the whole thing. They're both like, yeah, you can do it, man. You got this. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do one of these things where I'm going to put up TikTok videos of me trying to do kick flips, and I'm going to, like, every day I'm going to try it. It was like 3 weeks before I was just working on my ollies. My board slipped out from under me. I landed on my wrist and just broke my elbow. And I had a metal ball with a rod in it put in, I think, my ulna, either my radius or ulna, just at the end of it. And when I got out from surgery, the doctor was like, "That's the biggest one we have." So that was interesting.
You got a big guy.
Yeah. And so now I'm trying to heal up, and it's a bummer because it's like I want to do, like, I could taste. I was getting close. There's videos of me getting close, but there was also so many people who are like, "You're gonna break your arm," and now they're all like, "Well, I was right."
No, when you get better, go punch every one of them in the mouth because they did it. It's their fault. If they hadn't said it,
yeah.
That's like putting it on the universe.
So that's why I have a broken arm. And the thing that's more upsetting to me than the broken arm is the fact that I'm like, it's gonna be a lot before I skateboard again, if ever. My wife has a lot to say about me.
Now, did you skateboard in your youth?
Yes.
Okay.
And I sucked.
Okay. But you had some skill.
Like,
I mean,
cold.
I was like, I skateboarded. I wouldn't say I had any skill at all, but I like skateboarded to the point of I watched a lot of skate videos. I, went skateboarding with my friends frequently. I was going to the skate parks and all that. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, I skateboarded and it means I had a KB Toys skateboard when I was 8. It was like in a high school I was like in a skateboarding crowd.
Yeah, I gotcha. So
I had an idea when you started talking about the university. I was thinking that Matt and I could provide some of the scripts that we've written, and you could use them as punishment if anybody gets out of line.
I mean, would make them read it, make them rewrite it.
Because we have a bit that we like to do on the show when we have enough cast members, and especially if we have a female cast member, we have a bit where it's called cold read theater, where one of us will write, or me and Mike will work together to write a script, and I'll start writing and then stop, and then he'll pick up and he'll just start writing, and then I got to deal with what he wrote and work from there. But
sort of like an exquisite corpse script, so to say.
Yeah. And but what the only built-in comedy was every name is dirty, like the Adventures of Mike Hawk.
Yeah.
And his assistant was named BJ Titzenbeer because I had there was a woman and her name was Carmen. And the whole thing was just acting out that old joke where a man sits on an airplane, asks the woman's name. She says, my name's Carmen, because they're my two favorite things, cars and men. And then, what's your name? And he goes, BJ Titzenbeer. Right. So I would just build these old jokes, like my favorite jokes, into these bits.
Yeah.
And then we try to figure out how they, everything connected. A lot of times nothing connected. We came up with, and they're on YouTube. You can watch them if you ever. I don't recommend it, but it's like Mike Hawk is. It started out with Mike Hawk PI, but there's Mike Hawk Zombie Hunter. There's Mike Hawk, and it's just, dumb. We are interested
Professor
in doing
Mike Literis.
Yes, the Reverend Professor Mike Litoris. Yeah, so, we're obviously.
It's Litoris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike Litoris.
I was saying Literis. Okay.
Right. It's either way is acceptable. But now I don't know how accurate of information I have in front of me, but you grew up in Sandwich, Massachusetts?
Yeah.
And how does Sandwich prepare a guy for the wild world of comedy chaos? Was there a lot? Did you pull a lot from your environment?
Well, I mean, I was like, as I said, I was like a skateboarder, and I, sucked at skateboarding. And so when you suck at skateboarding and you hang out with a bunch of people that skateboard, you end up filming a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, we realized that you could take out video equipment for free from the town's community access network if you like did public access stuff. And so I was like involved in public access throughout high school, and
That's awesome.
yeah, made funny videos with my friends, and was like really into like being in, you know, the film industry, and went to School of Visual Arts. And that's so like when I got there and met Trevor, and Trevor was like, hey, let's start a sketch group, I was like, yeah, this is what I've been doing already, kind of. And
I am sorry for your loss.
oh yeah,
I felt that deeply as well. I mean, you know, I'm just a fan, but it took some wind out of me, and I'm sure, you know,
it hits, you know,
because you know, it's like every sketch I wanted to reference your performance in, he's in, and you have on your website that you were the 5th funniest whitest kid.
Yeah,
and
that's my new brand, is the 5th whitest kid.
Yeah, but you're a brilliant straight performer. Like, you know, I like just, you know,
we talked about this last night, because we were making the point, the straight man is just never appreciated the right way in comedy.
I come from the like school of like not school of, but like really like one of my favorite comedians is Steve Martin, who, you know, plays a straight man so well, but also has those moments where he plays the straight man like the idiot, and so you kind of get lured into thinking that he is like completely like this like straightforward, just like, I mean, I think it's I grew up with always knowing Steve Martin as a man with a white hair, like just like completely, and I think it's so appropriate that was his hair, because that was like his character was just like this sort of blank slate all the time.
Yeah,
but then he like hits the joke so hard, and it's such a fun, like one of my favorite sketches, all-time favorite sketches, is the Steve Martin's Christmas Wish, where he's like, if I could have anything this Christmas, I would have all the children of the world line up and sing a song of hope and harmony and hold hands. If I could have 2 things this Christmas, I would have all the children of the world line up, hold hands, and $30 million put in my bank account, untraceable, no taxes. If I could have 3 things, the thing with the kids, the money, and a 30-day organ, it's like it's such a perfect, like,
and it gets more absurdist as he goes.
It gets some more absurdist. It's just this person who is like presenting themselves as like completely altruistic, and the first beat becoming the most selfish person possible by the end, and still putting on the airs that they are a good person, and does so much, like the moves that he does to like take that down. The writing is so good. And
I'd love to be able to see him with Martin Short in their stage show that they're doing right now.
Yeah, totally. Their relationship's so fun, and
the Only Murders in the Building is a fun watch, because like I've done some acting, so it's easy to see that they're having fun doing it.
Yeah, totally.
Like you can see in that they're enjoying it.
Yeah. Martin Short's also one of those guys that like
Martin Short's just a genius. Martin Short's so unappreciated. Like that Glick character he does is so like, you just want to punch him.
There's this like stupid 90s teen movie. Man, I can't remember what it was. It was called like it had Ben Foster in it and Kirsten Dunst, and it was like this like it was like Get Over It, I think was what it was called. And Martin Short played like a teacher in this movie, and just every scene he was in, he stole. He gave like 150% to like was just like, oh, I'm gonna have the most fun in this. And one of my favorite comedies too is Three Amigos. I think that is like such a funny movie, and like just taking that dynamic of three idiots and playing that like so perfectly. And then you have that I forget what the actor's name is, but he was actually like a Western actor, the guy that was playing like El Guapo. He was like in the Wild Bunch, and he's so good in that movie.
What was the first thing they were going to do? They were going to do something, then they were going to steal the horses, or no, steal the women and rape the horses.
yeah. Chevy Chase gets it like backwards. And we raped the horses and stole the women.
So I mean, but with you guys, when with the sketch, with Whitest Kids, you push so many boundaries. Like, was there ever a moment where you thought, like, maybe we shouldn't do this, or was it all just go big or go home?
No, all the time. I always say that like the magic trick of the whole thing is that like people think that we were just doing everything like without caring about what people thought. And the truth is that we did care. We cared that like, we came off likable, and not that we were like worried about everyone liking us, but just, like when it was a question, when we were in that sort of like area of the line, those were the sketches that we would talk about the most. It's that thing where it's like, a stunt man doesn't just like do the thing and be like, I don't care if I get hurt. A stunt man like does the math and figure out like how fast does the car that's about to hit me need to be going so that I can like take this fall.
Right.
And so like that's the sort of thing is like, and I'd say, was there ever a time where we, were like, oh, I don't care what people think? Yeah, like early on, but I think you get over that pretty quickly when you have shows and you're like, you make jokes and afterwards the audience is like, kind of, it like ruins the momentum of a show, a certain joke.
Yeah.
It like, afterwards you're talking to a friend and they're like, oh, you said this? That kind of sucked. And you're like, oh yeah, that did kind of suck. And so you kind of, like you realize that the ones that like ruffle feathers, but still make it in are the ones that you need to have an answer for, are the ones that you need to have an explanation for. And also that like, like there are some explanations that at some point you're like, this is my logic behind this, that eventually you realize like, oh, that logic doesn't necessarily hold up, and maybe that's a little soft and yeah.
If we're not getting smarter from what we're doing, what are we doing?
Yeah. And so you evolve like that, and you look at what you're doing. There's a quote that I really loved that Anthony Jeselnik said on a podcast where he was talking about those comedians who say like, who do their act, and if they're like, if you're offended by this, then get the fuck out. And I'm paraphrasing, I'm probably getting it wrong here, but he said something along the lines of like, that's not the job.
No,
like the job is to entertain. And if you're not entertaining the audience, you're not doing the job. And it's like, you can say anything. The trick is being able to say that stuff that is so outlandish, being able to talk about those subjects that are so hard to talk about, and getting people to laugh at. So if you're ignoring that side of it, you're not doing the job.
No, I mean, and that's what opens us up to be able to have conversations about uncomfortable things when we
totally
get to the point where we can laugh at them.
I mean, the thing, like, I said early on, sorry to cut you off there, but early on, we like would go over the line. The second year that Whitest Kids was a group, or actually like the 6 months into us being a group, September 11th happened. September 11th happened, and it's not just like, oh, it happened. We were in Brooklyn, across the Brooklyn Bridge from the World Trade Centers. Like, we saw,
you were there.
Like, Yeah, we were there. And like Trevor has a video. There's a video somewhere of me, walking down to the Brooklyn Promenade. We didn't like communicate with each other. It was just like it was happening. And so everyone was like going down to the Brooklyn Promenade to see what was going on. And he has a video where he like went and got his camera and he's videotaping what's happening. And then he sees me and he goes, "All right, there's Sam." And I say something along the lines of like, "Hey, I guess Aaliyah flew her plane into this building because Aaliyah died in a plane crash I think a month earlier. I think that was like August 2001. Everyone forgets about Aaliyah.
Yeah, it was, kind of overshadowed a little bit.
What? By what? I think that's the real tragedy. But like October 2001, we were doing shows and we were doing jokes that were inappropriate. And, I think we realized that like what we were doing was like processing what was going on with the world through our humor. And, we were kind of in a way commenting on what didn't make sense to us. And then we realized that like, we have to there is some grace that you have to give to the world around you, but you also like, there is also fun in being able to like tackle these things that people, view as sacred. And there is a way to, like comment on what's happening to the world and, like make absurd things even more absurd without being disrespectful to the people that it affects the most. And I don't know, you said earlier you're mentioning that you're like, sorry for my loss. Trevor, I lost 4 years ago, and or 3 years ago, but 4, I forget.
Something about the pandemic, you can't.
It's been a while.
Makes sense. Yeah,
but like pretty early on, and this is just my personal experience with it. And, you were saying like, oh, I can't, like I'm just a fan. I'm just all our feelings of loss are valid. Like there may be something about like if you were like, "Oh, Sam, I'm sorry about your loss, but it affected me much worse than it would affect." That's maybe inappropriate.
No, right? Yeah.
But I mean, like you expressing that you were saddened by the events that happened is, completely valid. And I think, like when that stuff comes up, my like way of dealing with it is sort of like finding the humor in the moment and like, like having these, like trying to take that elephant in the room and deal with it head on.
Yep.
Right.
And yeah,
no,
I think that's just how we're built.
Everybody tells me I'm the worst to be at a funeral with.
Yeah.
I will get you in trouble for laughing every.
Oh no, I can't not laugh at the funeral. I can't not make a joke. I have to. It's so uncomfortable for me that if I don't do it,
and I've always loved that bottled laughter that you're not supposed to let out. It's illicit. I love getting that laugh.
There was plenty of times where like Trevor and I would like make each other giggle in inappropriate times. And it like, there was a time where, this is kind of an awful story. We were going through a period in the group where we were like having to like cut back on some of the members in the group. And there was a guy who we just were like, it wasn't like gelling, and so we had to like have this tough conversation with him. And we're like 20 at this point. We're babies. And we're having to like deal with like telling someone that they can't go to their thing that they've been volunteering time to go to. Mm-hmm. And we're about to go in, and then the guy that we're doing it with was this other guy who's in the group for a while, but he turned to us like right before we were going in to talk to this guy. We're like, are we going to do this? Yeah. And then this guy turns to us and goes, don't laugh. And then he like walks in and we like start this thing. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, why would I laugh? Like, why would he say that? Why would I laugh? Like, that would be awful.
Yeah. I've been in some,
and then it starts building in me, and all of a sudden I'm like, it becomes this thing. And then Trevor looks over and he sees me, and I'm like, and he's like, oh my God, Sam's about to laugh, and he can't talk. He's holding it in, and he's completely, and we're both like, and we're trying to talk to this guy, and I go, excuse me, and we both go out in the hallway and we start cracking up, and we're like, why are you laughing? I don't know. Why are you laughing? I don't know. He said not laugh. It's just building. It's just building. And then we go in, and the guy is like crushed because the other guy told him that he was kicked out of the group.
Oh.
Well, we were out in the hallway fucking laughing. We're like, what are you doing?
That's why he did it. He probably knew you guys would cancel each other out of the room. He'd get it done and it's over.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It was awful.
I bet.
Felt so bad. Yeah.
But okay. Yeah. Thank you for that's a story. Thank you for sharing it. We appreciate it. But getting back to current events, Sam Brown University is you're teaching the art, I guess, of comedy. Your sketch comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my curiosity is the writing process. Like did people come in with fully formed scripts, or did everybody sit around a table and kind of somebody had a nugget of an idea and it was flushed out from there?
With Whitest Kids, because we wrote throughout college, and we started to do this thing, which was like when we have meetings, we would be like, hey, let's brainstorm for a little bit. And we basically do like, it's basically a writer's room style, where we would brainstorm quietly for like 15 minutes and then like write down anything for an idea, any little nugget. And then we would go around and we pitch. And sometimes we would go like, all right, everyone pitch all their ideas, and then the next person. Or sometimes we would go like one person at a time. We'll go around. The person would say the idea, and then other people would pitch on that idea, and we would all kind of like let it breathe. Really early on, we tried to do that, and what would happen is someone would pitch an idea out, and then someone else would go, no, that's not funny. What else? And we did that for a while, and it was the fucking worst, and it just like didn't work. And then finally, like, someone had the idea of like they were like, hey, all right, let's pause. When someone pitches an idea, don't say no. Only say something if you have something to add to the idea.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately we noticed this like sort of change and shift in what was happening, because someone would say an idea, and then someone pitch an idea out on that idea, and then someone pitch it, and then all of a sudden we had like 3 steps removed, had this like really great idea for a sketch. And it's funny because we felt like we were like unlocked something in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, yeah, we just came up with this brilliant idea of like, instead of saying no all the time,
instead of shutting each other down,
we say yes, and we just invented this crazy thing in and then later we figure out that's what improvisers do. Okay,
yeah,
that's this tradition in comedy. Okay, but yeah, and then so we would, and the thing is too is like, in that phase of like, here's an idea, you're trying to build as much ammo as you're trying to cultivate stuff. You're trying to catch as many fish as possible. In the next phase of like, hey, what should we write up? you can choose like, hey, this riff was really good, let's do that sketch. Or this, someone will be like, hey, what about this sketch? And then someone else can be like, I feel like that was like a little off. And you get,
so a lot of what was pitched didn't always get put to paper.
No, yeah,
so
of course.
You would just the cream rises, right?
But
yeah, I mean, sometimes we would
strokes.
Sometimes we would sit there and we would come up with 5 ideas each. And this is when it was like Trevor, Darren, Zach, Timmy, and I, we would come up with like around 5 ideas each. So some people would have more than 5, some people would have a little less. So like you're saying around like 25 sketch ideas, and we would pitch all of them out, and we would get to the end of that, and we would go, I don't feel like writing any of those up. Let's go again. And you just go.
Right.
And that's the thing with like, you know, sketch comedy and comedy, and you know, like there's a thing where people go, oh, hey, you know, we'll write you and be like, it's like someone I like go to high school with, so I went to high school with, will write me and go, oh, Sam, I thought of a sketch idea. Or, you know, some young person aspiring to be a comedian will be like, hey dude, I came up with the best sketch idea. And it's one of these things where it's like, cool, man, write it up. Like that's your like the idea is such a small part of it. It is such the like the pebble that rolls down the mountain that becomes the giant snowball, you know, that the I think it takes a lot for you to learn that initial nugget is, you know, dispensable. That like you can just take it or leave it, and that like it is really the execution in taking that thing and growing it to something bigger that makes that difference. And you know, it's funny, a lot of people, you know, there are moments where sketches, things happen on SNL, ideas happen, and they're similar to things that we've done. And, you know, I think a younger version of myself would be like annoyed when that would happen and be like, what the heck? Who do they think they are robbing us? But then eventually, you know, I kind of came around to like this sort of viewpoint that it is what it is, you know, like that, like the jokes that I make are the jokes that I make. And the way that I make them has as much to do with the quality of them as the like general premise is, and that like people will come up with similar ideas all the time. I besides doing sketch like teaching, I'll also like direct sketch teams sometimes for their live shows. And I remember I was giving notes on this one show. This was like a few years back, and a group of people, and the sketch was like a prom sketch, and a couple are slow dancing, and a nun comes by with a ruler, and she goes, leave room for Jesus, and then walks away. And then all of a sudden a guy like runs in and he's like, hey, it's me, Jesus, come on, let's dance, you know, kind of like that thing. Like, and I was like, this sounds so familiar. And I'm giving it notes, and I was like, you know what would be a good song? That Casey and JoJo song, All My Life, you know, like that, like R&B. That would be a good song for this sketch. You should use that song. And then it was bugging me. I was like, I feel like I've like given this sketch notes before. And then I searched my Google Drive because it's always connected to like every sketch I've opened on it. And literally like 4 years ago, I directed a completely different group of people that had the same exact sketch. And in the sketch, it's like Casey and JoJo's All My Life is playing. That's on me. That like my brain was like, oh, this, like I stole the idea of playing that song during this, but it was because I'd seen this sketch before. Someone else do it, and they chose that song, and not saying that like I like stole, but like it's just interesting.
No, and it's not even that they didn't copy that sketch.
No,
either. That's a very common. It was I went to Catholic school. Make room for Jesus was a common phrase.
Leave room for the Holy Ghost.
You know, it was just don't let your bodies touch because you little perverts.
Yeah,
and you know, leave room for Jesus was the saying, and
it's just a twist on that.
It's and it's a pretty I think any 7th grade kid is going to come up with it. Yeah,
it's also an interesting commentary on where our comedy influence comes from, because you had seen that humorous event in a different context, but remembered, hey, this is what the background needs to be. This is what puts me there.
No, yeah. I mean, like it was like I had the cliff notes of like what the sketch was basically, where I was like, oh yeah, like you know what song would be great? This song, and I knew it would be great because I saw it before,
and it was great.
And it was a funny sketch, and it's fun, and that's the nature of comedy. Is kind of like I think like some of the best ideas are those ideas that are right there, like I always got like frustrated when I would see Pete Holmes do stand-up, because a lot of his ideas are those ideas where it was like, oh, I felt like I was like 2 weeks away from coming up with that joke.
Pete Holmes is a fucking philosopher. He's funny, like he makes me laugh, but his insights are just like, every time I see a Pete Holmes, like, because I look TikTok and all that, every time it's just like, it fills me with wonder. Like he's a modern day philosopher. I
think that's how you sit there and you go like, why do we think this way so often? And you can't help but like take that next step, you know, like he had this joke that I loved that was about like when you go to museums, like I'm going to screw this up, but it was something about like, are you just sitting there thinking about how long do I need to look at this before I move on to the next one? And it's like, it's like such a relatable thing, is that like looking at a painting being like, how long have I looked at this long enough? The next. And it's like, that's like amazing comedy, is being able to like take those thoughts out of people's minds. And that's like a big part of my class is I talk about like one of like the main, like I think tenet would be a good way to put it, but tenets of my whole thing is that like half your job as a comedian is to let the audience know what you found funny about what you wrote, and that's the big thing. Yeah, because like you should find your jokes funny.
I'm the only one that finds my jokes funny. And the thing is what made me think that I was funny growing up was the fact that we all had shared, 3-6, like, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox were the 4 stations that we had. So we all had a basic frame of reference. We all had the same experiences. So I could pull these references out and make these quick observations, and people would laugh and they would think I was funny. And another thing that made people think I was funny is I had a horrible fucking temper, and I would flip the fuck out on people, and people found it funny because I weighed 400 pounds and I would just lay into people.
Did people find it funny, or were they nervously laughing like put the bat down, man? And you're like, I'm killing here.
That might have been it too. I'm very self-aware now, but I lacked it for a while, for a good long while, was very, very unaware of my intimidating presence. I didn't realize, I just didn't realize people were. I'm 6'3". I'm now 240 pounds, but I was 400. I was a big fucking animal,
big guy.
Big guy. And the fat guy is always funny.
That's the same here. I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
You know, like it's you grow up. I had a podcast, I had an episode with Mike Mitchell, where it was Mike Mitchell from Doughboys, where the topic was, can fat be healthy? And it was a nice conversation, but like the common bond that me and Mike Mitchell had, besides being massholes, was that we were both like the like quote unquote big guys, which is like whenever you're like at a place where someone doesn't know that your name, they tend to go, hey, big guy.
Hey, big guy.
And they think that's okay.
You got to
like,
snarl and turn around. Like, what can I do for you?
What the fuck? Who the fuck are you?
So meanwhile, I'm not quite average height. When somebody says that to me, I get pissed.
Yeah, I forget how, you know.
I don't sound short, do I?
No, but I forget.
How tall are you?
About 5'7", so close to average. But I still need a couple of you tall guys to get the stuff off the top shelf once in a while.
I think Timmy's taller than you. I feel like that I just really hit a nerve there. I think
now, Tim. Now, I'm a pretty big fan. Timmy was the gentleman who played Abraham Lincoln.
No, Zach played Abraham Lincoln. Timmy played baked beans. Timmy also played Mary Todd Lincoln in one sketch.
Oh, wait, so who was Lincoln when the play was Hamlet, but there was a fucking vampire?
That was Zach. Timmy was on stage with me doing.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got them confused.
I got bit by a fucking vampire. Zach, we for some reason we like have these little things where we try and like have some sort of consistency with it, and Zach played Lincoln every time we needed a Lincoln. I think actually he played every president we needed a president for. Every time we played Lincoln, he played Reagan, he played Kennedy. We had multiple president assassination or attempted assassination sketches. I actually I think the only president he didn't play was I played Lyndon Johnson in the Kennedy sketch.
Well, Lyndon Johnson has a huge pick, so
if you look at pictures of Lyndon Johnson, I think that's as far as the I feel like I could play Lyndon Johnson. Like slick back my hair, I actually have a resemblance to Lyndon Johnson, which I think that's the one of the only somewhat accurate castings we have.
Every once in a while, I put on that bit that's just Trevor Moore and talking about how it's illegal to say.
Oh yeah,
I cry at that. That's that and the meth song.
One of the two sketches that have reached the higher courts in America. I think that's how you'd say it. There was a court case about a guy threatening his wife by quoting that sketch, but saying replacing are the drilling. Is that what you're? Are you reacting to there's
I was just
next door? I was okay. We're just he was trying to figure out what that noise was.
Make sure it wasn't my house.
No, it's outside. Sorry, my mic picks up everything.
So does mine.
But the it's illegal to say a guy threatened his ex-wife on Facebook by saying it's illegal to say you want to kill your ex-wife. Change the whole sketch, but just like ex-wife instead of president. And then there was another one where someone's daughter accused them of molestation or something like that, and then the dad was like, no, she's a fan of this group that have the Get a New Daddy sketch. And I think that reached higher courts also. I don't know the outcome of either. It sounds like fun when you're like, oh, like that went to the Supreme Court, but then when you hear the actual case, you're like, oh, that's a bummer.
Oh, fuck. I mean, that's really what you kind of take on when you're doing edgy comedy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
is these topics. You know,
You're
and
playing with fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
so besides, you know, reaching litigation, you know, or criminal proceedings, did you feel the fame? Like, did you know that you were like famous?
I like was like, oh, I'm gonna be famous, and then no. No, I think there are certain places where you'll get recognized, and it's always fun, and it's always like really nice. But it's always funny where the places where you realize like, oh, I get like really recognized here. And I feel like one of the places I get like the most recognition is Six Flags. I remember at Six Flags, there's a lot of people who are like, hey, the guy from Whitest Kids. Trevor would get recognized a lot. And I used to go on the road with Trevor a lot. And it was always funny because there was always a thing where someone would go like, hey, you're Trevor from Whitest Kids. Oh my God, I'm the biggest fan. I love your show. And he would go, oh, thank you. You know, Sam's from Whitest Kids too. And they would look at me and go, okay. Like couldn't care. And so that was always, there comes a point where you just got to, you know, lean into it.
He was very good looking.
Fifth best Whitest kid.
I appreciated your work. I know that much. I you know,
I always say that in like a sad way. I think it's a fun thing to try and lean into. I don't want you to be bummed out that I'm
not at all.
I'm the fifth best Whitest kid.
No, I get it. You know, dude, I mean,
we're the best podcast that nobody's listening to.
We're the best podcast in Wilmington, Delaware, or Newcastle, wherever the fuck we are. But
oh, you guys are in Delaware?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It sucks. No, Delaware's cool. I've lived in New Jersey. I've lived in Pennsylvania, and I like Delaware the best.
Delaware is sort of the Sandwich, Massachusetts of the United States.
Yeah.
Because like Sandwich is this town. It's like an old town, but like I've met so many people from Cape Cod that are like, oh, I lived on Cape Cod my whole life. I've never been to Sandwich. It's just like the town you drive through before you get to the bridge. And I feel like Delaware's the thing is like, unless you're from there, you have no reason to go there.
Most people only know us for the 15 miles of highway that's come from the Maryland line and take you up to either Pennsylvania or across the river to Jersey.
But we just had a conversation last week. Dave Grohl visits Rehoboth Beach. So Dave Grohl comes to Delaware. That's pretty awesome.
Kathy Lee Gifford has property in Sussex County as well.
We can keep that to ourselves.
I think unofficially Fight Club takes place in Delaware.
Yes.
Well, we don't talk about Fight Club.
I had one rule.
The first rule, Sam.
I had two rules and I fucked them both up.
So, I mean, obviously your view has changed. You know, people grow, but like, were you scared during the whole like, you know, kind of woke Me Too, like that, all that material being out there?
I mean, not like
not like holding in the corner, but just kind of like in the back of your mind, like something's got to come.
Not for the show, but for the stuff that I did. No, I'm kidding.
It wasn't the comedy; it was all the rapes. So,
no, I'm joking.
Of course, you're joking. I'm not.
So, there was like a little bit of like a you know, it wasn't. I'm gonna word this like a little carefully, and it's funny. It's. Do you know what's like harder to like manage than the like woke mob, the Me Too movement are the fucking like diehard, like nothing can be censored, like the reverse of that is harder to navigate.
It is, because people they expect you to go places that, from and just as somebody who is out here trying to be funny, sometimes there's a place where the funny lives, and that's where you've got to be, but you also know that it's a spot, and if you go too far, it's not right either. They don't understand the measured quality of comedy.
I feel like there's such like a thing with this, like, oh, wokeness ruined comedy, that like people felt that if you weren't saying the worst stuff possible, that you were in some way doing that out of fear, and in some way doing that not because that's how you felt, but because you've been bullied into that. And I think there's this thing where it's just like, people can do mental gymnastics to create their world to be whatever it is. And, they have this image and this idea of who you are. And if you, like, say like, oh, I think this, they'll go, oh, well, he doesn't mean that. He's only saying that to because that's the state of things. And it's funny because I just think that, like, I mean, this has kind of come around full circle, but like there was that moment where like Seinfeld was like, wokeness ruined comedy, and it's like, oh, you're kind of you can say whatever you want. You're Jerry Seinfeld, like no one is censoring you, and I think the backlash on that was very appropriate, where I just think the world is constantly evolving, and that like the way that people look at things is constantly evolving, and the way that we need to think about things is constantly evolving. And people think of this whole like woke thing as like, oh, there's things you can't say, and it's like, no, there isn't like things you can, like nothing's like off limits, but if you're gonna act like an asshole, people might be like, hey, you're being an asshole. And yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I just think that I think the tough thing is that like context gets removed from stuff. Like there was to play devil's advocate to what I was saying, is like there was like a thing where like people were like, I don't care when something happened, or that like, like everything that someone has done, I'm going to view through the lens of right now. And context is a funny thing like that. And so like,
it is.
We went through a funny thing of, we released the show, the complete 5 seasons of the show with Shout Factory. We released it on DVD, and it's on streaming, and it's just this thing where, hello, Grist Monkey Pete.
That's one of our friends who's joining us.
But there's this thing where with the DVDs, where we were like putting it out there, and when you're putting it out on Tubi, like originally, like it's this thing of like, well, like if people are like flipping through Pluto TV and they might catch our sketches, they won't know that it's like a show that's 20 years old, and they won't get that context. And so we went through and we looked at all our sketches, and we go like, all right, here are the like 12 sketches that we think won't sit well because of
These
like people won't
well.
get the context of it. Yeah, they didn't age well. Whatever.
Was the Grapist one of those sketches?
No, the Grapist was on there. I mean, I have a tough relationship with that sketch.
I was going to introduce you as the Grapist, or right at the stop of the show, but I didn't have that kind of, I just didn't have the balls.
Thank you. I mean, I have a funny relationship with that because it's like, and this all goes back to context, is that like I would say that is one of the most popular Whitest Kid sketches. It's up there with Lincoln. It's up there there's, and the thing is, I think it is like a well-written sketch, and there's a reason why it has its like the sort of popularity it does. There are a lot of people who saw that sketch and were like, this sketch is funny because it makes making rape jokes okay. And that's a little bit of a tough legacy to leave. And there's definitely people that have like messaged me on Instagram and been like, hey, when I was in grade school, I got expelled because I told a girl I was going to rape her. And it's like, I don't know if you should be proud about that, man. That sounds like pretty rough, especially I bet that girl wasn't a big Whitest Kids fan. We weren't that popular of a show. And then there's moments where it's like, I will post a picture on Instagram, post a picture on Facebook, and, you know, I have a lot of fans following me, and they'll be like, I'll be with a girl who's like tagged in the post and everything like that. And someone will say like, oh, Sam, that girl's about to get graped. Oh. Just because I'm hanging out with someone doesn't mean they know the sketch show. Doesn't mean they know the sketches we've done. Right. And so that's just kind of an awkward, gross kind of thing. Like, that's kind of like, I feel bad for those friends. So anyways, so I just have a complicated, that's never the sketch you want people yelling down the street, hey, Grapist. That's never happened.
I waited a whole hour to bring it up. But it was, you know, I mean, not for nothing, you know, I was asking some of the other crew members, you know, hey, you know Whitest Kid, you know? And they're like, no. And I'm like, how the fuck do you not know the Whitest Kid? You know, just like, how do you not know that? For fuck's sake. And so, so we're interviewing. What's that?
You didn't have to yell at them, man. Put the bat down.
Well, they were laughing. And so that's the sketch that I sent, you know, to introduce the Whitest Kids. I'm like, here, this is all you need to know. And, you know, so I'm sorry I'm part of the spreading of your legacy.
No. It's totally fine. I do think it's a funny sketch. I do like I think that sketch, I am proud of the sketch because I think the way it evolves and the way it heightens is what makes it, like, there is the initial catch to it, but like I think the sketch being a funny sketch is what makes it like remembered so well.
Because it comes in hard, like it hits.
Yeah, it starts out with the
scene, like the big grape and like, terrorizing, you know.
But then it evolves.
It pauses, and Zach writing the check, going, of course I want it. I just think it's, you know, just like, of course we're gonna run it. And I was just that was the I think that's such a funny,
like, anti-ending. Like, there's so many of our sketches where we're very like anti-capitalism show, and that's one of those moments where it is like, yeah, of course this businessman, this guy working for a juice company is gonna do the least amount of work possible. He's gonna know exactly what's wrong with this, and he's not gonna care that like it's happening. He won't be. He knows that if he is like staunchly opposed to the Grapist, that means they're going to have to make another commercial, and they're not going to go. Of course, they're not going to go through that. That means he might have to work a little bit more. Yeah.
It's the little cherry on top. The gallon of PCP. That's
a fun one. Yeah,
that was a fun one. There's just these, you know, this beautiful cornucopia of these jokes that are legitimately dark and horrible, but was presented in a very, funny way that I always really connected with. I enjoy your work.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think like that's the thing. That was like the trick is we like at first we were like, all right, let's do some like really dark stuff and let's be really fucked up, and then we realized that like, if we want people to like laugh at this, there has to be like something there for them to laugh at. There has to be something we're doing, and we like, I think that PCP is a sketch that like we find that way to heighten it with like the idea of like, all right, what if two people bump into each other, two old college friends bump into each other in a park, and one of them has a gallon PCP? And then like, well, what if, instead of being like, oh yeah, what if he's nonchalant about the fact that he's got a gallon of PCP? And then like,
and you all know who this person is as we talk about it, by the way.
Yeah. The thing is too is like there's this amazing thing of playing it where it's like Trevor's character is so like, what's the story with the gallon of PCP? But the whole sketch is just pulling teeth. The whole sketch is the guy being like, oh, it's just a gallon, like and then Trevor like trying to be polite and kind of do that sort of and then that heightened twist of the guy is much more successful than Trevor's character. Like, I love that moment of like, oh, so what do you do? Oh, I work at Binko's. He said Binko's instead of Kinko's. And now that's not even a thing. Kids are like, what the fuck is a Kinko's? Like it's FedEx office before FedEx office. And they're like, why didn't you just say FedEx office? We're like, that wasn't a thing yet.
It wasn't a thing yet. Right.
Yeah.
We can't go back and change. We're not George Lucas. We can't go fix it in post.
It's the guy is so successful he doesn't even know what a Kinko's is.
Man. And we have another friend joining us, Big Daddy. Big Daddy has an improv troupe that two of them actually that he participates in, and a conflict schedule, so he joins us when he can. Cool. And figured
Did you have a show tonight?
No, so it's Wednesdays we do practices. Our next show is coming up next Friday, I think, at Chapel Street Theater. That'll be.
I didn't ask you to plug it. I'm not in Delaware. Please don't try and get me to go. I actually am in Delaware. Don't tell them. I just don't want to go to an improv show. How was practice?
It was pretty good. I got a chance to get up and make some magic.
What's the drama? What's the group drama?
That
is group drama. There totally is group drama.
There is.
The problem is he's probably part of it.
There's always group drama, but that answer of like, is like, yeah, there's group drama, and he doesn't want to talk about it on a podcast.
So like we have different skill level, and with the show coming up, it gets difficult to choose what games we play because you gotta make it work for everyone's skill level.
No, what you do, Sam will give you advice. What you do is you take the weaker member, you go to his house, then you take everybody else except for one dude, take him out in the hallway, start laughing. Then that guy tells them that they're not in the group anymore. Right? And then
call back to something that I did earlier.
That was a story he told. I'm sorry, I was just doing that to entertain Sam, Big Daddy.
Oh, here's what you do. You take the weak member and you hold him down, and then you suck his dick.
How does that help?
I don't know, but
can't hurt.
Someone got their dick sucked. Yeah. But someone
That's a
came.
punchline for Big Daddy.
It certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So
Depends on your technique, but yeah.
Let me ask you this, Sam. What's the best career advice that you've ever received?
I don't know. My career sucks. Like, you're asking the wrong guy. No, I would say I did in situations where I, did have big opportunities, and I was in a situation where I was around a lot of people who were very professional, working at the high levels of things. I think it was important to listen more than you talk. I think it's important, when you're around people who are more experienced than you, to try and learn from their approaches rather than. I think there's a tendency that people have to be oh, I'm gonna try and impress people with my ideas of how good I am here, and it's no, pay attention to what people are doing, learn from what they're doing, and if you have a good idea, wait for your opportunity to voice that idea, and that will impress people way more when you have that one solid, piece of advice to drive things a certain direction. But yeah,
right. When you've shown yourself a team player and you have an idea, people are more, more apt to listen to you.
Yeah.
And that is a fantastic.
I just think, yeah. And I think the natural thing to do is convince people you have the experience you feel inadequate about. Actually, I do have advice, a moment that I was this is great advice for acting and for anything. So Zach, Trevor, and I made a pilot for Comedy Central. Timmy was in it, but we produced it and wrote it, and it was called Boyfriends. And there was a scene in it where we needed to the opening. It was about a boy band three members from a boy band who weren't the Justin Timberlake at the moment that they're being told that they're all broke. And we got a seasoned actor. We got this guy, Saul Rubinek, who you might know from True Romance. He played the director that's making the Coke deal. Maybe Unforgiven. If you ever seen Unforgiven, he's the guy writing the book about British Bob, who stays after British Bob gets beat up. But yeah, he was in a show called Warehouse 13. This guy is one of those guys that's been in everything.
I know that guy.
So anyway, I haven't really done any serious acting in 3-4 years. And this is the first time where I'm the EP on this Comedy Central pilot, and we're shooting. We have a very quick shooting schedule, and we have the first studio set up, and it's the scene between Trevor, Timmy, and I. And I go through the scene, and I'm completely in my head, and I'm thinking hit my mark. I'm the hardest part about hitting your mark is hitting your mark without looking like you're worrying about hitting your mark. And so I do this just camera walk through where I'm just nervous and I'm so wooden. I'm ooh. And we do it, and Zach goes all right, yeah, that's great. And he goes, Sam, loosen up a bit. You look a little wooden. And I'm just fuck. Oh shit, I look wooden. And then so I go back to Crafty, and the next scene we were shooting after the one we were about to do was the scene with Saul Rubinek. And so he's just showing up to set, and he has no idea what I'm going through. but just starts shooting the shit. And it's just like, oh, it's funny. I shot a scene like this before. And he was like, I played an accountant in a movie called Against All Odds with Jeff Bridges. It was directed by, I forget what the guy's name is, but he directed Officer and a Gentleman. And he was like, this was his movie after Officer and Gentleman was a huge hit. This was a movie after. And the scene was in a cafe in like Times Square. So there was like hundreds of extras. And they would set them all up and they would say action and they would do the scene. And he said the first scene they go through, he was like, I had my lines down. Jeff Bridges kind of stumbled his way through it. They say cut. Everyone sets back up. Takes like an hour to get everyone set back up. Action. They do it again. He gets it again. Jeff Bridges is a little better, not completely there. Cut. Another hour. They do it a third time and they get it. And they do it a fourth time, another hour. And they do it a fifth time. And now fifth time, like now Saul Rubinick's like in his head and he's like fucking up. And he's like, shit, like every time I do this, it's like so much to reset. And we just have this one scene that we're supposed to do. And it's like so much. And Jeff Bridges looks at him and goes, hey man, he goes, relax. And he goes, this is this guy's, he like Saul Rubinick said something like, hey, what's up with this director, man? We got it. Let's move on. And he goes, this is this director, he's been given the keys to the castle. This is his toy. This is his one time to like do what he wants and have the freedom to do whatever he wants. And so he has worked his way to earn that, to be at this place. And you have worked your way to earn this, to be at this place. And you just got to take solace in the fact that you are here because you're supposed to be here. And those words were like such a vote of confidence, and like completely put me at ease, being like, oh, I'm not a guy who hasn't performed in 3 years. I'm a guy who has earned this chance to make a pilot, to be paid to make this pilot for Comedy Central, and has like, even to the point where it's like I've earned the trust of Zach and Trevor and Timmy, for that matter, to like be in this. That is something I've earned, and it's something that like you can't really take for granted.
Yeah,
that's powerful stuff.
So are there any wild rumors or misunderstandings about you that you want to straighten out before the internet runs wild?
I mean, there is this thing where Trevor and Zach have this story about me falling down a flight of stairs at SVA. That one's not true.
But that's, yeah. All right, I thought maybe there's some wild accusations out there or something. I don't
know. Was this because of the joke I made earlier about the Me Too stuff? No,
actually, it's funny because it's just we use a lot of AI. We use Grok and we use Chat. We've actually anthropomorphized AI. Like we named it. It's a person. It's the chief disinformation officer of the Media Virus podcast, and we tell it who we're interviewing, and it spits out some questions for us.
Okay.
Sometimes we follow the script, and sometimes we just let the guests talk. And I just kind of go through and pick and choose the questions as we go.
All right.
This was here, and I thought maybe AI knew something you didn't, but it had nothing. It wasn't a callback or anything like that.
Well, maybe it does. I don't know.
Who knows? But Sam, dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time.
What's up?
Did you wait? Was there any? Did AI have any questions?
I
thought you were about to grill me with these AI questions.
No, we're just picking our way through them.
So you've already asked me the AI question.
Yeah. So I go pick out like what I think is an interesting question. Because I get nervous. My mind
the
goes.
craziest question that there was.
Let's.
Don't know about
crazy. It was once when I was like developing my website, and this was before it was Sam Brown University. I was like, like this was before ChatGPT was advanced as it is. I was using what was the early graphic one?
Midjourney.
Midjourney, yeah, I was using Midjourney, and I was like make me a web page for a online sketch comedy course, and I shit you not, it had a picture that looked just like me on it.
Wow!
It was just like AI was like, yeah, this is what internet sketch comedy teachers look like.
So
it's like,
you want to hear? This is we're going to show you something, Sam.
Okay.
Like I said, we do 3 different shows. These 2 gentlemen are usually part of the 3rd show. I brought them in here just, because I didn't want to cut you short. I thank you for your time.
Okay.
I really appreciate
it.
Hanging out. Yeah. And we love having you. But I just typed in, we called the 3rd block C block, and Big Daddy is, kind of the feature of C block. And this is the intro to the next segment.
Big Daddy, C block's power, got the streets devoured. Gold chains glisten in the hour, flow like a sizzling shower. Spit fire like a dragon, cruise left staggering. Imagine in the habit, check it, Big Daddy moving, calculating the scheme. Rough neck, no bleeding, hardcore eyes gleam. C block dominion, pure raw strength in the kitchen.
All right, all you mother, you know what time it is. It's the C block on the Media Virus podcast. Actually, it's not. It's just a bad habit I have. Every time I hear this, I start doing that. But the point that I'm making here is that we just told AI I need pictures of Big Daddy, and most of them are pretty damn close. As you can, so AI.
I was faster than anyone else.
Why don't you? If we saw your whole face, Big Daddy, it'd be so much better. See?
Okay, yeah.
So, and we didn't give it any information. That's just what it came up with.
I don't have a digital footprint. Like I don't do online shit.
No, he's got
really.
He literally has 4 Facebook friends, and you're looking at 3 of them.
Nice. Impressive.
And only been arrested that one time.
All right.
I'm being good. I'm being very good. All the other things I was going to say, decided not to.
I appreciate it. Big Daddy's the one that likes to say the things that make me cringe. And it's it gets racy, if you know what I'm saying, but it's not
racy.
Well,
or like racial.
No, 3/5.
Yeah. Both.
Yes,
both. And
there's a difference between those 2 words.
There is, and I meant racy. But then it does kind of, it all, because that's just the way, things happen. And it's honestly, we do it to prove we know a black guy. There he is.
This way, we know that they have invited all of their black friends onto the podcast.
Oh yeah,
all of them are on this podcast. Wait,
funny that there was that one picture. There was a sign behind. And for a second, it said back block, but for a second I thought that ChatGPT was like, "Oh no, this is the black block."
Probably. I mean,
that's something I didn't pick up on, so it makes it even funnier. But
that's how I think about it. That's why I'm always 15 minutes late.
BPT.
All right. So Sam, I'm so thrilled and honored that you came on the show and gave us so much. You really opened up to us, and we really appreciate that. We'd love to have you hang out with us some more, but I want to be polite with your time, but I don't want to be rude. So I just kind of want to, if you got something to do, I
think I do have to go because I do have a 2-year-old,
right,
and I also have a sick wife right now, so I have to.
And it looks like you're nursing a broken arm or something.
Yeah, I have a metal elbow.
Yeah,
elbow.
He told the story, so you can just go back and listen.
I will go back and listen.
Yeah,
you don't
absolutely.
have to. I got.
No.
No, he does. That's actually his job.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
The upside is there's so much comedy that comes from pain, and I feel like you've got a new special coming.
Yeah.
I've always said I want it on my tombstone. If it didn't hurt, it wouldn't be so fucking funny. You know what I mean? That's just that's humor. That's comedy.
Yeah.
But again, Sam, thank you so much for your time. You've been more than generous. I'm gonna keep in touch. I want to save up, to take your classes because it really seems like it would be beneficial for all of us.
We could use
it's similar to this podcast, like the hanging out and talking about stuff with people, bringing in sketches to read and that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that sounds like an absolute blast, and we'll definitely have the link in the description. I don't think it's in there now, but it will be. Yeah. And thanks, man. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna let you go tend to your sick wife and your 2-year-old. Thank you so much. Thanks, and I'll keep in touch, man. I'm gonna keep in touch with you because I enjoy it. Now I enjoy your work. We have never gone an hour and a half B block ever. I have never. Wow. I usually at 55 I start winding down, but I was just enjoying talking to you, and you were just so open, and I can't thank you enough. Well, I just sorry to Big Daddy and Grease Monkey for. No, they just over. No, they
we're just glad we don't have to hear any of Matty's stories for an additional half hour, so we're good.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right. I'm going to end this. All right. Do you want to just keep going since we played the intro?
I can split the audio.
I mean, yeah. Let's just keep going. Let's not waste any more time.
I can split it. All right. Because so here we are.
C block.
Here we are.
I was, like I said, I normally don't let, I don't let B block run over the hour. C block is I protect it. It's important to me. But I wanted to give Big Daddy a chance to come on and meet Sam and talk to him, and Big, I don't know if Grease Monkey Pete knows anything about it, but I wanted to give them the opportunity to come on, maybe, who knows? And then he brought up the AI similarity thing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity to play C block intro and just keep going,
Having the opportunity to meet a fellow rapist, I feel was worth it.
You came in after I brought that sketch up.
I feel thoroughly graped.
Is there something different in your setup tonight, Big Daddy?
Yeah, your audio's terrible.
Yeah, I can't find my usual headphones.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm on different headphones.
So you're just rolling off the.
No, he's using headphones. He's just not using his good ones.
Yeah. Ironically, these are Beats headphones.
They probably
well, I'd say they're definitely Beat.
And I usually use like a not Beats.
Yeah.
And I've not over there.
Did we write a C block?
We did.
Okay.
We did. And it's all right, Mike, what's in the news? And I've got to pop this link up.
You've got a link? What link do you have?
Well, as nicotine pouches' popularity soars, they're also responsible for more poisonings in young kids, study finds. And so nicotine pouches are a fast-growing source of nicotine poisoning in young children, according to the new study. Researchers at a nationwide children's hospital in Ohio analyzed more than a decade's worth of data, examining over 134,000 cases of children under 6 who accidentally ingested nicotine through products like vapes, gums, and lozenges. Most types of exposure fell after 2016, but one delivery method, nicotine pouches, shot up, rising more than 760% during 2020, or from 2020 to 2023. It's a high concentration nicotine product and it tastes good, said Dr. Natalie Ryan, director of the Central Ohio Poison Center, Nationwide Children's Hospital, and co-author of the study published. You know what? Not for nothing. What? I'm a little fucking sick of parents crying on the news about how their little angel got into daddy's nicotine pouches and had a bad day. You know, not for nothing, but oh no, Timmy's tummy hurt because he ate a minty poison pillow. You know, guess what? He ate it, just like the kid who downed half a vodka seltzer at a barbecue last week, or the middle school genius who tried to trip on Benadryl for a TikTok clout and ended up seeing Jesus in the ER. Back in my day, we knew what the skull and crossbones meant, and we damn sure knew not to swallow something that made us dizzy unless we were doing it on purpose at a party. Now, we've raised this generation of soft participation trophy chasing sissies who can't handle their drugs. You're not mad your kid got poisoned, Karen. You're mad your kid can't party like you did in college. You know, if your toddler's getting into your vape juice or your edibles or your nicotine pouches or your adult lemonade, that's on you and your incompetent parenting. Put it on a high shelf, you absolute clown. But let's, be real. The bigger tragedy here isn't kids getting into adult stuff. It's that these kids can't handle a little THC without calling 911. Can't take a sip of spiked lemonade without barfing. Can't even chew a nicotine pouch without shaking like a chihuahua. How are they going to survive life when they can't even survive a gummy? And that brings me to, I don't know. Fuck. Oh, yeah, that brings...
You okay?
No.
It brings you.
Oh, that brings me to the latest masterpiece of manufactured panic. In Plano, Texas, a bunch of high school kids at a graduation party were selling and sharing THC gummies. Doing the community service of helping their classmates get high at this lame-ass suburban party. A few kids got paranoid, threw up, freaked out, and ended up in the hospital because they felt weird. And what do they call it? They call it an overdose. Let me explain something to you. Let's clear something up, okay, for the slow kids in the back. An overdose means you died. Okay? That's what an overdose means. It means you died. There's no overdose-like symptoms. The symptom is dying. That's the overdose symptom. You dig what I'm saying? So if you didn't die, and dying means being resurrected. Being resuscitated. They don't call it resurrected. They call it resuscitation. Pete.
You just resuscitated Pete.
I just resuscitated Pete.
No,
he was dying.
No, I was not dying. I was looking at something on my phone.
If you didn't die, you didn't overdose. You just got too high, freaked out, and embarrassed yourself in front of your crush. And now, instead of laughing it off, these kids are ratting out the very friends who were doing them the favor by hooking them up. What kind of kids are we fucking raising anymore? Yeah, congratulations. What?
If I gave a guy the best weed he's ever had, and then he turns around, has the best trip, and then tells the police on me, I'm beating the shit out of him.
And right,
snitches.
Oh hell yeah! Snitches get stitches. You don't see the new. None of this shit was in Philly.
Oh yeah, that sounded wonderful.
Yeah, well, I tried to hit the mute button, but nothing ever works the first time.
Yeah.
Well, but congratulations, parents. You didn't just raise sissies who can't handle the drugs. You raised narc sissies who will call the cops on the only people who made the party worth attending. And that, my friends, is how you kill a party, kill resilience, and kill whatever's left of fun in this country. Your end of rant. Full of righteous indignation.
As it should be.
As I should be. So, Big Daddy, did you get the report, the assignment we handed you this week?
No.
No.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Rorge.
There's
Well,
a hole in the C block. And it
There's
goes right
a
through.
big hole in the sig bot. We're just gonna have to go to the adult industry roundup.
All right.
Or we do have a Big Daddy Asks this week.
Oh, we do have
live.
Big Daddy Asks.
Ah,
We have a live version of Big Daddy Asks.
Oh, hang on. Wait, we gotta do this. Fucking do this right then. I didn't know we had a Big Daddy Ask. Shit, dude. What the fuck? You gotta let me know this shit, man.
Well, I was gonna tell you, but I decided it would be a better question if we did it
I was
live.
gonna tell you, but then I figured, nah, fuck him.
It's a much more diabolical question to ask live, so that no one can prepare for it.
Well, they never watch it before now, anyways.
Very rarely do we
Very
watch.
rarely.
But I think there not being one for a while, we may have taken a taste. I understand.
You may have peeked.
Yeah, we may have.
Taken a little peek.
The Media Virus Podcast presents a Stanley McFadden production. Big Daddy proudly brings to you
Big Daddy Asks.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Media Virus Podcast. Here is your Big Daddy Asks for today or tonight. You are to receive the single best, nastiest, wettest blowjob of your entire fucking life. No blowjob has ever felt better than this one. However, there is one rule. You must be blindfolded. If you take the blindfold off, you will then know who is giving the blowjob. It may end up being your wife, your girlfriend. It may end up being your neighbor. Could be me. Could be your grandfather without his fake teeth. Might be your dog. Might be a camel. They're extra spitty. Do you leave the blindfold on and get taken up to meet Jesus for a few seconds? Or do you take the blindfold off because the curiosity has gotten to you?
Well, what I think we should probably start with Pete. Pete, you're moving the blindfold, or you leaving it on?
I'm leaving it on.
You're leaving it on?
Yep.
All right, it's fair. Just gonna ride it out. You don't.
Yep.
Anonymous. You don't care where your dick is.
I mean, every day's an adventure. Life is an adventure.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
and I do like getting my knob polished.
It is up there in the top 5 things that I enjoy.
I could probably mind my own business.
But there's a percentage chance that it's your girlfriend or wife.
Could be anybody.
Well, like, are they? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me ask a question. Are they all in the room?
Is everything in the room before you put the blindfold on?
Yeah, like, are they all in the room before you start? And it's like, hey,
And they all stay there?
like, so I'm like, let it.
Because if they're all in the room, definitely even the blindfold on.
So let it, yeah, definitely, yeah, let it happen. when it's all over and they let you take the blindfold off, like,
No. When it's all over, it's over. You will never know.
no, well, no, let me finish. Gosh, people have a habit of not letting me finish.
That's what the blindfold.
Well,
it's like, God damn it, I didn't take the blindfold off. Could I just finish?
No, like I said, don't take the blindfold off. You see God for a moment. Okay. Yes. He steps back. Like, do you get a chance to, like, when you're all done, take off the blindfold and look around. All you gotta do is look for that fool that's like wiping their mouth.
The point is, you don't know, and you never know. That's what makes it a scandalous question. You'll never know.
I'm okay with not knowing.
I'm okay with knowing. It doesn't really matter.
I guess you're kind of friendly with your therapist.
Bob.
So you probably want to keep going.
Take his teeth out.
I mean, what's worse? It's like it's an animal that you pull your dick out and you're done.
I mean, it could end up being a mother.
I would sincerely doubt that.
A sibling, a kid, a third grade teacher, homeless guy under a bridge. Mike Tyson.
Could it be my eighth? No, was it my seventh grade teacher or my eighth? My seventh grade teacher. Yeah. Mrs. Keenan.
It could be Keenan Ivory Wayans or Mrs. Keenan.
Pete just reached 35 years deep into the spank bank.
Yep.
Ladies, if you ever wanted to know how deep the spank bank goes, greater than 35 years is the answer. For me, I originally was going to say I don't want to know, but the more I think about it, I feel like I got to take the blindfold off. And here's the only reason why. If I leave the blindfold on and it's the best I've ever had, I'm going to spend the rest of my life chasing that dragon, and it's going to ruin every other blowjob from now until the end of my life. And I'm always going to be chasing that one that I had, and no one's going to be as good as that one. So I think I'd rather.
Unless
Big Daddy just turned blowjobs into cocaine.
Whoa. I mean, isn't that what cocaine is? They call it.
Who we should ask? We should ask the people of Texas. Because Pornhub and other adult sites have blocked Texas users after a new law requiring strict age verification, including an ID upload, went into effect July 15th.
Those bastards.
Pornhub says it is a threat to users' privacy, while Texas lawmakers claim it protects minors. From what? Seeing tits?
Yeah.
Can't let them see tits. Fuck. Texas lawmakers claim it protects minors. Similar blocks previously occurred in Utah, Mississippi, and Virginia. Texas can't get their Pornhub fix, and now they'll have to go back to the Sears catalog and in their imagination, or Big Daddy's magic blindfold. So, but that's not that bad in Japan.
Yeah,
they're facing their largest adult content distributor. Mike's got the story.
AI deepfake porn lawsuit shakes Japan. Japan's largest adult content distributor faces a class action lawsuit from over 30 women whose faces were used in AI-generated deepfake porn without consent. Victims include influencers and ex-idols, with the court case arguing that distribution platforms failed to remove the material. Japan, where tentacle porn is legal, but AI is pushing even them too far.
Japan's fucking weird.
Yeah.
There's a porn star that raises money for sex worker safety tech startup. A top OnlyFans creator and adult film actress going by Kira Gold raised $1.2 million in seed funding for her startup Safe Haven, which offers personal panic devices and encrypted check-ins for independent sex workers and will soon be Uber for whores. Finally, a venture-funded wearable that lets you call when the wrong kind of creep shows up. I think, dude, Uber for whores would be a much better. I mean, Uber's already at the booty call disposal service. That's.
Did you say it was seed funding?
Seed. Yeah.
Seed money?
No, seed funding. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah. It's definitely seed funding.
Disney and porn have a long relationship. OnlyFans creator banned after filming at Disney World. A Florida-based OnlyFans model was permanently banned from Disney World after posting explicit content filmed in park restrooms and remote areas, violating park policy. She claims she made over $50,000 from the videos before the ban. They say Disney is the happiest place on earth, but they didn't specify why for everyone.
Now I want to know whose content I need to subscribe to.
We're going to skip the next one because it just contradicts the first story that we read.
Okay.
But there's a sex robot brothel expansion in Nevada approved. A Nevada county has approved a sex robot brothel for a test period after lobbying from a robotics company, with local protests citing moral concerns and supporters citing reduced trafficking risk. Nothing says progress like a robot brothel being less sketchy than your cousin friend's bachelor party. What?
We've talked about this before. Why do you want to put your dick in a toaster?
So somebody made Westworld real?
Apparently. I don't.
You know what I'm talking about? The old Yul Brynner movie?
I thought Westworld was a TV show.
It was.
But
the movie was first. It was based off the TV show. The original story, the original movie starred Yul Brynner. He was the robot. He was a robot or cyborg robot, dressed like a cowboy. And it was called Westworld. And what about was it 9-10 years ago? They did a TV series, which was wow. Like I don't think I watched the whole thing, but I watched because I think it was like 3 or 4 seasons, and absolutely like probably one of the better series that I watched. You should check it out. But essentially the movie, I remember seeing the movie when I was in my teens or whatever, and a little controversial because like naked robots.
Well, I remember Austin Powers.
It was people pretending to be
machine gun titties.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whatchamacallit, what do they call it?
Oh, what was her name? The blonde. In the second movie. Anyway,
a lot of vagina.
So here's an op-ed from the technical sector.
Okay.
That child-proofing the internet's a bad idea.
Agreed.
Last month, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld a Texas law that requires age verification of users' age when visiting websites with pornographic content. It joins the UK Online Safety Act and Australia's ban on social media use by under 16s as the latest measures aimed at keeping young people safe online. While protecting children is well-intentioned motivation for these laws, There's a blunt instrument applied to a nuanced problem. Instead of simply safeguarding minors, they are creating new privacy risks. The only way to prove that someone is not underage is to prove that they are over a certain age. This means that the Texas requirement for age applies not only to children and teenagers, but to adult internet users as well. While a Supreme Court decision tries to limit its application to specific types of content and compares this to the offline verification methods, it ignores some key differences. First, uploading data such as driving license to verify age on a website is far more involved and a lasting interaction than quickly showing the same ID to an assistant when purchasing alcohol or other age. Right. First of all, when I'm buying alcohol or when I'm buying hemp or anything like that, I don't have my dick in my hand.
That's a perfect.
It's very hard.
Hey, speak for yourself.
In some cases, laws require websites and apps to keep users' information for a certain amount of time. Such trove of data can be lucrative to nefarious hackers. It can also put individuals at risk of having sensitive information about their online behaviors exposed. Second, adults who do not have government issued IDs will be prevented from looking at the internet content that they have a constitutional right to access.
Yes.
This is not the same.
I have the right to look at porn.
You have the right to look at porn. Advocates for age verification often point to alternatives that can estimate a person's age without official ID. Biometrics can be used to access age via a photo upload online. Financial or internet histories can be checked, but these alternatives are also invasive, and age estimates via photographs tend to be less accurate for certain groups of people, including those darker skin tones. So it's racist, too.
Yeah, because black don't crack.
Exactly.
Despite these trade-offs, age verification proposals keep popping up around the world, and the problem that they are trying to solve encompasses an extremely wide range. The concerns that policymakers and parents seem to have span from the amount of time young people are spending online to their exposure to certain types of content, including pornography, depictions of eating disorders, bullying, and self-harm. Not for nothing, but we were exposed to, fucking depictions of eating disorders, bullying, and self-harm our entire childhoods. It was called growing up. Today's young people have access to more information than any generation before them, and while it can provide them many benefits, it can also cause worries about the ease in which they can access harmful content. But age verification requirements risk blocking content beyond pornography. They can unintentionally restrict access to important information about sexual health and sexuality too. Additionally, the requirements for ID could make young people less safe online by requiring more detailed information, laying them open to exploitation. As the information taken from adults, this could create a honeypot of data about their online presence. They would face new risks caused by the very provisions intended to make them more safe, which is, let me tell you something, anything the government does, everything that happens, okay, there's this unintended consequences, and then we got to do something else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you guys remember this. I'm old enough to remember this, right? But when I was a kid, there was nothing but paper bags.
All over the place.
They were all over the fucking place, right? And then, well, paper's no good because we're killing all these trees. Because apparently you can't make paper out of anything else. Back then, I don't know. So we went to plastic. Then the world got covered in this plastic. And then he's like, you know what? Maybe this plastic's a bad idea. Let's go back to paper. But now the paper bags are made from recycled paper. And they're shitty. They're the worst bags.
Terrible.
And you know what? I got to pay money for the little plastic bags to pick up my dog shit when they used to come free every time I went to the fucking store. You know how much that pisses me off, dude?
Oh, man.
Do you have any idea how aggravated I get at that?
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice.
You used to get a week's worth of dog shit bags every time you went to the store.
Yeah.
Now you got to pay. You got to pay for the bags to bring your shit home, and you got to pay separately for dog shit bags. Sometimes I use those fucking, like the bags they sell at Wawa.
Uh-huh.
There are many of those fucking Wawa bags with dog shit in them. Because I needed to pick up dog shit, and that's what I had.
Oh, man. I
actually reuse the same bag. Just use it for a week.
With the fact that Dickie's a complete and total asshole and I can't take him anywhere, I sort of have the inverse problem. Right before the previous dog was passed, I had purchased a lot of bags with the idea that I would be walking a dog for a while.
Yeah.
And now I've got a bunch of bags I can't do a whole lot with. I'll send some your way.
Oh, thank you, but I'm I appreciate it, but I'm not looking for your fucking charity. It's one of those things. I can't believe that everybody else isn't more upset about it, to be honest with you.
Oh.
I'm more concerned about having to show my ID just because I want to see Alexis Texas ride Black Dick. And that also means that at 2 o'clock in the morning, I have to get up out of bed, go find my wallet, go find my ID, come all the way back. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. But who keeps their wallet next to the lotion?
Well, if you want to use Pornhub, you're just gonna have to get used to it. It's just the way it is.
And what if I don't have a driver's license? Will it take a passport? Can you imagine applying for a passport just so you can see Angela White's titties in zero gravity? Or having to go to the DMV.
Sorry,
gotta go all the way to the DMV
we were
to
taken with your zero G titties comment.
Yeah, we all got distracted at the same time. You said zero gravity titties. We all went, oh, wow, zero gravity titties. And have no idea what you said after that.
We all just visualized zero gravity. We were like,
we're all thinking, oh, wow, that'd be great.
And, from a
Erica would suffocate, though.
From a scientific perspective, I'd like to see women of all shapes and sizes in zero Gs.
Yeah. Purely scientific.
Yeah, she recently, Angela White recently went to the one of the NASA training station where they simulated zero G. So
where they simulate zero G? That's called the vomit comet.
No, it was a capsule.
Oh,
capsule.
That he was in. So it was
they must drop them then.
It was like her and 4 dudes, and they were like tossing her around and just drinking water. And titties is tittying.
Was Wangs wanging?
Wangs were wanging. It was zero gravity dick. Is not. No.
You didn't enjoy zero gravity dick as much as you enjoyed zero gravity titties?
No, it's like when the money shot just kind of like.
It's like a snow globe.
It's like a snow globe in here.
So, like, why in the world should I have to wait in the DMV for like an hour and a half and then pay $68 just to see Sarah J's snatch, blown out snatch?
Yeah. I mean, we thought we got away from all this when we stopped having to go to the video store and pretend we were renting something else.
Yeah, exactly.
We thought we left that behind.
One time when I was in high school,
yeah,
we were at the local video store. It was like the local general run, video store. And Pulp Fiction had just left the theaters. And if you recall the delay between, and a guy walked up and returned a movie, I look over and I was like, oh shit, Pulp Fiction. I didn't know Pulp Fiction was out. And then the guy's like, no, this isn't Pulp Fiction. I'm like, what do you mean it's not Pulp Fiction? And he's like,
Look
Pulp
again.
Friction? And I'm like, so wait, the knockoff porn is out on video before the movie is?
Yep.
And they're like, yeah. And I was like, isn't it any good? He's like, how would I know? I'm like, I don't know. The guy just returned it. You don't do recommendations. You don't get people's opinions on. That's back when porn was like you had to tell a little story. You couldn't just have people fucking.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how the whole movie went, but I can say the first 7 minutes were fantastic.
So, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna call this if
I think that's
me.
I think that's wise.
I've got
Yeah,
it.
I'm heading back out the door.
Okay. Well,
All
there
right.
you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've all got plans, and we're going to go execute them. You execute yours, and we'll see you right back here on the Media Virus Podcast next week. Thanks. This episode of the Media Virus Podcast is brought to you by 302-46 Voice. That's 302-46 Voice. If you want my voice on your project, dial 302-46 Voice today. Don't forget to check out our sister show on the Media Virus Podcast Network, Stepmoms Without Children. Join Ricky Rockdef as she takes a deep dive into the fascinating people she meets and thinks that you should meet too. Find Stepmoms Without Children at themediavirus.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your fine podcasts. Special thanks to mysportsreports.com and delawaresports.com, delivering regional sports coverage straight to your devices via stream and podcast. Learn more at mysportsreports.com and delawaresports.com. If you wish to sponsor the Media Virus Podcast, email your contact information to pml@themediavirus.com with the subject line sponsor, or leave us a message at 646-VIRUS01. On behalf of the infection team and our feckless leader, Matty Rockdef, I'm the Reverend Professor Mike Latoris, coming from to you live high atop Uncle Butch Studios, with one hand firmly on the pulse and the other clawing for a shred of sanity. This has been the Media Virus Podcast. We'll be back next week. Find us at themediavirus.com, on social media, or download us now from your favorite podcast platform.